ashamed of playing a fool. One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, it feels nice. Don't you think twice, just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. What you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone. Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about the squeaky wheel, always getting the grease. Better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be just fine if you only will.
Good morning to all of you that are here today in the sanctuary and those joining us virtually. My name's Ruth Stanton, and I'm happy to be here on this first Sunday of August to serve as your worship associate. Our minister, Scott Neely, is out of the pulpit in the summer in July and the beginning of August for a study break, and he'll be back in the pulpit again next week. Our summer has been all about bending time and space. Last week, we had a wonderful treat of music shared with us by some of our music jam group, and we were all transformed, even though briefly, into music jammers. Today, we had a wonderful speaker online, or here to be with us, Dr. Greg Béchard from Wofford, and unfortunately, he was unable to be here at the last moment. Nobody's in the hospital, no major family problems or anything like that. And so this morning, our associate minister, the Reverend Anne Garner, has bent space and time in the last 2 hours to prepare a message for us. Yay, Anne. So I will just give you a heads up that our order of worship is not super accurate today. It's kind of a suggestion of worship, and we'll just wing it as we go along and try to be clear as we give directions along the way. And now we have our announcements from our president-elect.
Good morning. My name is Seher Kul, and I serve on the Board of Trustees of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spartanburg. It is my delight to welcome all of you here at UUCS and all of you who are joining us virtually. This is a welcoming congregation where everyone is welcomed just as we each are. If you're visiting with us this morning, we would love to meet you, to share more about the life of this congregation. Visitor cards may be found in the pocket on the back of the chair in front of you. Please feel free to fill out one and place it in the offering plate during the service so we can connect with you. There are many important announcements on the sheets titled Connect at the back of your bulletin this morning. Please open your bulletin to see all that you can be a part of. It is hard to believe that summer is coming to a close. School is starting for many students next week. This also means that our offerings that we paused this summer will be starting back up. Our 9:30 a.m. Sunday morning class will resume next Sunday, August the 13th. Wednesday night meditation will begin again on Wednesday, August 16th at 5:30. And our regular office hours, Monday through Thursday, from 10 to 2, will resume on Monday, August 14th. As fall begins, our Mission Vision Covenant team will be hosting another series of gatherings to work on the mission objectives that will guide us over the next few years. You can find more information about these discernment meetings, including the dates, on the second page of the Connect. Please make plans to attend one of the discernment meetings and the November 18th church-wide meeting, where we will determine our mission objectives. Members of the FVC team are available to answer any of your questions. Thank you all for making this place of care and kindness for everyone. Thank you for making this a place of joy.
And for our chalice lighting today, I'm going to read from our hymn book, hymn 131, just the words if you want to look at those. Love will guide us. Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. And now if you'll turn to hymn number 38 in this same gray hymnal, and stand as you're willing and able, and we're going to sing together, Morning Has Broken. That sounded great. Now, at UUCS, we have a tradition of sharing our joys and concerns through the metaphor of the rippling bowl. The water in our bowl is still and flat, and when we add a stone or a shell, it adds energy to the bowl that we can see as ripples. The stones and the shells that we drop in may represent sorrows or concerns that, when shared with each other, can spread out and diminish. Or they may represent joys that, when shared with each other, can ripple out and increase our joy together. I invite you to come forward to place a stone or a shell in our bowl for the joys and sorrows on your hearts, and I will put a shell and a stone in the bowl for those of you that are joining us virtually.
Will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will not this rose. I know my sin will burn away. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will not this rose. I know my sin will burn away. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will not this rose. I know my sin will burn away. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will not this rose. I know my sin will burn away. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. This rose will open.
Rounds can turn out great, yes? Our denomination does not have a particular creed that we have to believe in order to be members, but we are still thoughtful and deeply committed. In fact, our congregation created a covenant to express just how we want to be in relationship with each other and with our surrounding world. Please join me in saying our covenant together. We are a people of faith and hope. Together we covenant to strive to become our better selves, to honor both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to respond to systems of violence and oppression with the power of a love beyond belief. We are truly glad to be together and to have an opportunity to greet each other. As diverse people, some of us are exuberant greeters and some of us are quiet greeters. Please check in with those you are greeting for clues on how exuberant to be. We want to respect each person's personal space. And it is fine to stay seated if you would like to. One more thing, once we get going, we could easily continue all morning, and we had several suggestions that could be the sermon, but we still have a good message to hear from Anne, and in our offertory too. So when you hear Aaron play the music, please return to your seats and let the greeting begin. does me good to see and hear all the greeting. So great. I want to, just in case some of y'all slipped in late and you're thinking, some of this isn't following the order of service. Our speaker, Dr. Greg Bashar, was unable to be here today, and we are hoping that he will be able to speak for us in the future. We're definitely inviting him back. So keep your eyes peeled for when you see him in our announcements coming out, because I think that his message sounds really interesting. Now, it's time for our offering. Our church and its work are supported by the generous donations of our members and friends. I know many of you are giving electronically or at other times, but as the plate goes by, please add your blessings, even though this might not be a time for you to contribute financially. And please know that if circumstances preclude your financial support, your presence with us is gift enough. As part of our work, we share the plate every month with a different social justice organization. Half of the offering cash that's loose and any designated gifts will go to that special organization. And this month, our Share the Plate recipient will be Africa Development Promise. Some of you had the opportunity to hear Monica Labiche Brown, the founder and executive director, speak here a few weeks ago. And you probably saw it's hard to miss, the big poster on the way in the door. Africa Development Promise is a nonprofit organization that empowers rural women in Rwanda and Uganda with knowledge, resources, and opportunities to build resilient livelihoods for themselves, their families, and their communities. Since 2014, ADP, that's the short for that, impacted the lives and livelihoods of over 1,000 women. The program concentrates on rural cooperatives for agriculture with farming assistance and business know-how. They've also developed courses in computer training and tailoring and sewing to increase the ways that women can support themselves and their family. And we're happy to support them with this August Share the Plate. Our offering will now be gratefully received.
Join me in silence. So this is not what I thought I was going to be doing this morning. And it has felt a little bit of bending space and time over the last few hours. At 8:30 this morning, I got an email from our guest speaker saying that he wouldn't be able to be here. I know one of you is here because of him and wanted to hear him talking about the Big Bang Theory. And when I walked through the door, you said, "No, you have to mention the Big Bang Theory," so I just did. I also shared that that was kind of the feeling that I had when I read that email this morning. It sent me into some feelings of panic that you might imagine. I wasn't even going to be here today. I hadn't taken a Sunday off most of the summer, and I was like, I think this is a good one. So, I'm here. I jumped into high gear. I hesitantly called Scott because I didn't want to interrupt his last Sunday before he is back in the pulpit. But I was like, okay, I don't have a meditation in my back pocket. What am I gonna do? But I got dressed and flew in the door and sat down at my desk and wrote something. I know that this is a place of great care and love, so I know everything's gonna be okay. Having Scott as a great colleague, teammate, and encourager, I know everything is gonna be okay. So here we are, together, bending some space and time. I also think I'm gonna help you all bend a little time because we're gonna get out of here a little earlier than normal, and you all can beat the Baptists to the restaurants. Last December, just a few days before Christmas, Ted, Katie, and I left early one morning to drive to Texas. This trip was not planned. We thought we were going to be here for Christmas. Our oldest daughter lives there. She thought she was going to Michigan for Christmas to be with Nick's family. So Christmas in Texas wasn't on anyone's radar, and yet. She had gotten a new job just before the holidays, so she wasn't able to take time off and go to Michigan with the Love family. I do love that her partner's last name is Love. About midweek, Mason ended up being diagnosed with the flu. The idea of her being home alone and sick for Christmas was a lot for this mom and dad. We started trying to figure out what we should do. Christmas was on Sunday. We'd had all of these conversations in worship team about what to do with Christmas being on Sunday. I had told Scott, let me be here Sunday because your kids are younger than mine and you can do all of the Christmas things. We had planned a potluck brunch for that morning. I felt like I needed to be here. But I also felt like I needed to be in Austin. So I suggested to Ted that he and Katie fly to Austin and I stay here. Then I could be here for the Christmas Eve service and be here Christmas morning. And Mason would not be alone. Ted suggested that I fly to Austin and the two of them stay here. We threw around all kinds of scenarios in about 2 days. But we ended up deciding to drive to Texas, all three of us. We knew it was going to be a short trip coming back on Monday, and it is a long drive from here to Austin. But when we pulled in that driveway, it was just, I knew I was in the right place. We hadn't seen her since February, and it was just good for my heart to see her and my Great Dane grand dog, Remy, who I also miss. But in that moment when we pulled into the driveway, we just knew that we were exactly where we needed to be. On Christmas afternoon, we got a call from Ted's dad. They moved here last May to be closer to us. We were concerned about leaving them over the holidays, but felt like we needed to be in Texas. We justified it to ourselves, knowing that they were in a place with other people around. One of you had offered to check on them while we were away and offered for us to give your phone number to Summit Hills in case of any emergency. You all might remember that that weekend was really, really cold. Like maybe highs in the 20s, unseasonable for here. Well, pipes burst when that happens. And that is exactly what happened at Summit Hills on Christmas afternoon. The ceiling collapsed in my in-laws' apartment and completely flooded it. This would be unsettling for any of us. But for a person struggling with memory issues, this was catastrophic. And we were 17 hours away. We were just worried about them being in a new place for the holiday. We never imagined that we would have to try to navigate something like this. While we certainly didn't regret our choice to go to Texas, we were obviously running through all of the things that we could do to help if we were at home. They could come to our house, we could help them move things, just all of those things, and we could do nothing because we were far away. It was really hard. Just like life. Life is full of anxiety, challenges, and unexpected twists, like unexpectedly having to come up with a meditation on a Sunday morning. Distances are long, time too short, and we can never be everywhere we want to or need to be. This happens to all of us, and it happens regularly. Ted and I were definitely feeling pulled to be in more than one place for Christmas. But we chose love. And when we choose love, something transformative weaves into all of that. Not above it or around it, but in it with us. It changes the quality of interactions. It shapes our decisions and hard choices. And we feel space and time change. We cover the distance and connect across spaces to be with those we need to be with, even when we feel pulled in more than one direction. Our lives are limited, and space and time are part of those limitations. Many demands are placed on us. Some are very difficult. And sometimes, when we choose what seems to be clear of what we need to do, suddenly the sky falls in, or a ceiling, and we feel torn. But love has a power, one we could theologize all day long and never come near to comprehending, to help us through. What matters is that we choose it over and over again, especially in the times and places that stretch us to breaking. Mason was going to be home alone and sick for Christmas. We live 17 hours away. That was a hard thing to reckon with as parents. My in-laws had recently moved to Spartanburg, a transition that was not easy for them and still isn't. Did we leave them here alone for Christmas? What do we do to take care of these people that we love? We lean in and we love deeply. We lean in and we accept the love that is so deeply shared with us. We felt so much love from this congregation and other friends as we drove to Texas and back. I was getting texts and phone calls during those really long driving days, which was very nice and helped the time go. People here and other friends were offering to help in any way possible with the aftermath of a flood and ceiling collapse. We felt constant love and support that whole weekend and beyond. It was not the end of the road when we arrived back home at 1 a.m. on that Tuesday morning after driving all day. There have been many more challenges and unforeseen curbs. They continue today. And we know that road will always be before us, all of us. But love keeps getting us through. So just lean into love and help it bend space and time for all of you. I told you it would be shorter. If you all will please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 131 in the gray hymnal, Love Will Guide Us.
And you thought today wasn't done with surprises. I just wanted to say I have been through situations like Anne. And what I learned from those was that there are no coincidences. And what looks like disaster is actually a lesson provided by coincidence of these things all happening at once, of resilience, and of our ability through love to deal with what gets thrown our way. And so I think there's a lot that any of us can take from this, what Anne expressed, that can strengthen us when something like this happens to us. And I really felt it appropriate that Anne finished her talk and sat down, and we did not congratulate her for it. So I would like for us all to stand now, and considering what the timing she had and everything else and her excellent choice, and thank her for what she did for us today.
That was John Hiding. Thank you, John. Perfect. To extinguish our chalice, once again, love will guide us, peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the hard night.
Thank you. I don't even know what to say. Let love guide us. Continue to help each of us and everyone out there bend space and time, because when we do love, it transforms this world.